Live deep in the heart of West Texas, it's the James Hendricks Show, coming to you from a faith-based perspective, guys. We gotta cover the news, sometimes whether we like it or not. But the good news about my podcast is that I select the news sources. I mean, so much of talk radio goes after the liberal news, but I'm not one of those reactive people, okay? Here's a news story on Christian Broadcasting Network that says gas prices have absolutely exploded. Republicans call on Biden to increase domestic oil production. Okay, Biden has done the oil sanctions here. Cut off the pipeline, if you know what I mean. And so that becomes a problem. Because he's not doing anything about the Keystone pipeline. He's not doing anything about our production. Plain truth. We call that a paradox. We call that a reactive. We call that a reactive contradiction. Okay? That's what's going on in the liberal media and among liberal ideologues. And I'm glad for those Republicans who are calling for an increase of domestic oil production, okay? I'm a desert rat raised out in the oil field by a man who had oil in the veins. You know, my daddy would say, drill, baby, drill. So, there you go. Look, we all know what has to be done, correct? And we all know that public affairs calls for, and this is, if I was consulting Biden, I'd say, look, you need to listen to both parties now on this, increase production, and clamp down a little bit harder on Russia. Okay? It's time to take care of our own. It's time to take care of the USA. To be made in the USA. Now, one thing I remember is that Biden has declined sending some supplies to help other nations in Ukraine. Well, I think he should send supplies. I'm not saying we have to send ground troops. We don't need to send ground troops in every conflict that we have involved. But Ukraine is a part of our interest, okay? Oil. Now, I'm not saying we don't need our own oil production. Yeah, we need energy independence. But this is something I take from Robert Kiyosaki. Oil is the lifeblood of the world economy. And these liberals, you know, oh, what can I say about these crazy liberals? We're going to throw a fit until we get rid of all the oil. No, you're not going to do that in America. We Christian conservative federalists are saying, we ain't touching that. We ain't touching that. Now, I have a friend, a very close friend of mine, is like, why should we care about Ukraine? I'm sorry, but I do. I do. Someone that has read a novel about the Chernobyl disaster, my heart goes out to him. Some say, well, Jimmy, you're just a bleeding heart. No. I'm a tender-hearted man. But I can be tough sometimes when I have to be. Not always that easy, but what can I say? Now, here's another interesting tidbit. CBN News is Christian Broadcasting Network. And they have also another piece saying Israel unveils plans to welcome Jewish and non-Jewish Ukrainian refugees. I have to say this. Hats off to Israel. Wonderful job, okay? And let me tell you something. While we're speaking about Israel, I don't think we as Americans need to be bad-mouthing Israel, okay? And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. We are going to go into the King James Bible. Right? Now, we're going to go into Genesis chapter 12. We're going to read these verses here, if it'll let me.
And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
There you go. God blesses those that blesses Israel, and curses those that curses Israel. So we need to apply to Israel. We need to stand with Israel. Okay, that's just how it is. That's the way I see it. Alright, now, here is another news story, and this is what I really wanted to get to. Justice Thomas says it's time to hold social media accountable after sex trafficker uses Facebook to lure victims. Ooh! I think I just got somebody mad up in here. They're saying what I have been saying in my success podcast, Empower Your Pattern, all along. Social media is wonderful, okay? Don't get me wrong. Social media has some wonderful tools, but I'm willing to bet that if you open up your news feed, sometimes what do you see? Some things are good. There's one I see that says nothing can trouble you as much as your own thoughts. You know, so some things are pretty wonderful. But I also think, sadly, it can be a place where some negative reactivity can take place. Okay? So there you go. You know, I agree with Justice Thomas. Okay, it is time to hold them accountable. It's time to hold a lot of this reactive culture accountable. Okay, here's one. Another article that they have is that the ACLJ, the American Center for Law and Justice, which I've considered becoming a member of, is warning that a Maryland law is going to be furthering genocide. Now, you know, I was watching an episode, I think it was yesterday, or the other day, where, of Law and Order, where, Jack McCoy, one of my favorite characters, asks this guy who's kind of a wannabe priest, does the Bible condemn abortion? And he says no. Plain truth. Yeah, it does. It does. And you're like, well, Timmy, how do you know? How do you know? Because I've read my Bible. People say, well, the Bible doesn't say anything about, a certain thing that's wrong. Really? Well, maybe not always, maybe not, but something as volatile as the abortion issue, yeah. Okay? So think about that. Think about that seriously. I'm going to give Proverbs 6. We're going to go through some of the things that are abomination to the Lord.
These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood.
Those babies are innocent blood. Plain truth. Those babies are innocent blood. Okay? Those babies are innocent blood. So we as Americans, listen to me. We are called to choose life. We are called to choose life. So please choose life. Hope you enjoy listening to the James Hendricks Show. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Become a part of receiving most daily updates. This is Jimmy Hendricks saying until next time, take care and become proactively informed. God bless you.